When you would have asked Nelson Mandela just before he became president, what have you done in the last 3 decades? He would have said, I've been in prison. So I also have been in prison, in an inner prison that I created for myself for most of my life. Hello, dear soul lady. It's not such an uplifting intro, I know, but there's a reason why I share it with you. Because recently I've won an award and now can officially call myself the spiritual wellness leader of 2025. And I'm about to prepare myself. In a few days, I'm going to leave to Dubai, where the gala takes place, to receive my award. And there will be several interviews, a press interview, what I call a purple carpet interview, and also an exclusive interview with the host of the event. So I'm already gathering some thoughts about what I would like to say when asked, well, what have you been doing in the last 3 decades? And one thing that I am thinking about adding is that you can see how I've lived my life the best as how a whale travels. At certain moments in time, the whale comes up above surface, does its thing, and then disappears again, in my particular case, for years, being in a place or whatever, people could actually not find me anymore, withdrawing from social life and being on my own. The advantage, though, is, and yes, it has been not always that easy, tough times, but at the same time, it has been very rich and rewarding because in those moments, in those times, in those years actually of being alone, isolated, I took myself as my own laboratory, and every day I went in and started to explore and was on this quest to find answers why I felt so empty, so unfulfilled and unhappy, despite the successes I had in the moments that I came up with the well. For instance, I, at one point in my life, it was around 2005, I was granted an O1 visa to live and work in New York. At that time, I had my own theater production company, and I created, produced, and performed 5 solo shows in a time frame of 3 years. The last one had a weekly run for 6 months in an off-Broadway theater. I was living my dream. Yet I needed to go to 4 therapy sessions each week to cope with my sense of emptiness, feeling unfulfilled and unhappy. So when that was over, then I dived in and disappeared again for I don't know how long. This taking myself as the labyrinth and being on this quest, I investigated and I asked questions about myself and my own behavior and the way I felt and all these kind of things. And gradually I gathered so much knowledge and experiences and insights and also the tips and tools around psychology and specifically explored the relationship between psychology and spirituality. Now, here's the thing. Many people consider spirituality as something woo-woo. Some even call it the fluffy puff stuff, which I find kind of a fancy term. And and they consider it to be something far off and something pretty useless in how we live our daily lives and manage our businesses and lead our companies and so on and so forth. The contrary is actually true. There has been a Jesuit, um, Pierre, Tadam, Pierre. I will look it up. Sorry for forgetting his name, but he lived in New York also, and at that time he made a statement. And the statement goes as follows. We are not human beings having from time to time, a spiritual experience. No, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. So over all these years that I've been caught up in my own inner prison and was not actually capable of really living my life the way I wanted to, uh, very much held back and so on and so forth. I started particularly develop this body of work I call the art of soulful self-leadership, in which I point out and mapped out how this what we call spirituality can be brought down into or can be brought down into how we live our lives and actually come to the actual experience that this 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 spirituality is so much of help in how to navigate life, how to live our lives and manage our business and lead our corporations and so on and so forth. Yeah, I'm a bit I'm a bit looking at the reason why this passion evolved in me to work with particularly affluent soul-seeking women age 40 plus, as you know. And of course, when a man comes to me who is wealthy and has certain issues that he would like to have some support for and with, then of course I will consider that. What is so striking to me is that in the whole world, specifically of the world of the wealthy, uber wealthy, with all these its etiquettes and the way you should behave, it's so much not done to speak about particularly these inner feelings of not being happy. It's so much about pretending that everything is fine. It's so much about walking on eggshells. It's so much about making sure that you behave and act according to how things are supposed to be done. So much ruled and motivated by fear that yeah, what will other people say when you really tell them how you really feel inside? Um, so much fear that you will be thrown out, that you're not welcome anymore, to say it more politely, in the social the social circles you are a member of, which means and which implies that everything that I've just mentioned is going so much inside, so much repressed, so much held privately, and then yeah, outside you're the center of the conversation, and but back home you just collapse on the couch and feel what you feel, and that's why I'm here. Those those people, and maybe this is you also. You're not going to advertise how you really feel inside. You know, maybe you've tried, and then you got the responses from, "Oh, well, get over it." And what? You have no right to feel unhappy. And look what you have. You should be feeling privileged and happy that you can do all these things. I consider this there. So nobody's going to publish it, or hardly anyone is going to publish it, to really open up to the press and speak about the hardship they experience and how tough life is, particularly for wealthy people. And so it's my sense is there are a lot of people who suffer from this silently. I call it the silent epidemic. And that's why I'm here. That's why I make myself available. And the other thing is that I want to mention also about the people I'm now describing is that they do things to with the hope that they can overcome it. But then here's the thing. They have the money everything can buy, or they think they can go to the most renowned psychologists, therapists, health practitioners, you name it. But then, if they do all the work, they put so much effort into it, and they do all the things they can think of that are available, and then come a point where they just have to admit that everything that they have been doing so far doesn't seem to have made any difference on a very deep down level. Deep down, the situation is still the same as the year before, 2 years before, 5 years, 10 years before, and so on and so on. And that is the moment where they reach the edge of hopelessness and then become kind of desperate and think, if nothing that is available works, what does? Still, I would say they have this spark of hope that there must be a solution out there. And I say this because I experienced that myself. In these moments of total hopelessness, I did find, and this actually I didn't find it, this spark presented itself to me to let me know, go on, keep going. There is a solution out there also for you, also for whatever you're going through. And that is the moment where usually the path of the person who is struggling with this and myself cross. So that's it for today. I really hope it's somehow helpful. And if there is something that is of concern related to what I've just shared and it resonates with you, I've put my personal email address in the description. So please reach out and let's set up a time and day that is most convenient for you and let's talk. I wish you a wonderful, soulful rest of your day, evening, and maybe you're about to go to bed, restful night, and take care. Hope to see you in yet another coffee table conversation, and goodbye for now.